Well, Towson Lacrosse on the road tomorrow at Hampton, looking for a sixth straight win. Our next guest has been a big part of the reason why the Tigers are currently the number 16 team in the country and off to a 3-0 start in conference play. He is goalie Matt Nilan, and he is with us now here on GCR. Matt, it's Glenn. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, I know you had played a little bit the last couple of years, right? But, like, taking over this role and it being your job now and you're the guy, can you walk me through, like, what your nerves were like coming into this season? Maybe, like, when for you you had the feeling of, all right, I'm good. I've got this. I know I can do this day in and day out.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of mentioned this. I had the opportunity to start one game in each of my last 2 years. And I think, quite frankly, the nerves were a lot bigger in those games,
Hmm.
being a younger guy as a sophomore and a junior. But now being the senior, I think my coaches did a really good job of getting me experience early. So I think at this point, maybe halfway through the Johns Hopkins game, which was our season opener, I kind of felt like I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be out here playing, having a blast. And this season's been nothing but a blast. It's been a really great time, a great experience so far, and I'm just excited to kind of keep this thing going.
Was there a moment that you were like that did stand out to you as like now everybody knows, right? Like now everybody knows I belong here. I deserve this job.
Yeah, I think I made a big save on a man down in that first game against Johns Hopkins, and especially being a crosstown rival with Johns Hopkins, and even personally knowing a lot of those guys, I think being able to just kind of make one big save and have a nice clear was pretty quick for me. That I was able to realize, you know what, maybe I can do this thing. Maybe I belong here. Let's do it.
Man, and it's gone really well from that point moving forward. Matt, obviously there are a lot of expectations for this team coming into the season, right? And like you guys have won the CAA the last couple of years, and maybe this is the year to take a step forward. You played a lot of really difficult teams at the beginning of the year, as Towson always does, right? Was there anything, I don't know if humbling's the right word because it's not like there was a bad loss in there or something like that, but
Right.
was there anything that you guys experienced early on in the year that perhaps you learned from that you kind of carried with you as you guys have been on this long win streak now?
Yeah, I think I what sticks out to me is the loss to Loyola. We kind of struggled early on in that game, and Loyola really another crosstown rival, a game that we really want to win, being their rival, and kind of Loyola always being a team that's also similar to us, right on the brink of making a tournament run, trying to win some conference championships. That was a game we really wanted to win, and we really took that game seriously, but we came out slow. And I think after that game, which was the same week that we played Virginia and obviously got a huge win
Hmm.
there, I think that was a little bit of an eye opener for us where despite the fact that we have weapons all over the roster and we have a ton of confidence in ourselves, we realized after that Loyola loss that we can't just come into games expecting anything. And our coaches have done a really good job throughout the entire season preaching to us that we have to go out and earn every win, earn every practice rep, and honestly just earn everything because the roster guys and the talent isn't going to win us games. So that Loyola game specifically, I think was a really great teaching moment that allowed us to kind of not necessarily turn our season around, but take that next step, I think.
He is Matt Nilan, Towson goalie. He's with us here on GCR. It's interesting you mentioned that next game against Virginia because it felt like nationally coming out of the game, a lot of people were trying to say, well, that might tell us a little bit more about Virginia than it does about Towson. Well, my how the turntables, because here a few weeks later, I think we're all reminded Virginia might still be as big a threat to win the national championship as any team in the country. Did you all internally know just how good of a win that was in that moment and what it said about you guys and your ability to beat anybody in the country?
Yeah, I think no matter if Virginia lost every game for the rest of the season or won every game for the rest of the season after that, that was a massive win, I think, specifically for my class and just for all of our confidence, because over the last few years, we've kind of been knocking on the door of an ACC win. We consistently are either winning those ACC games or in a tight matchup at halftime. And the problem over the last few years has been, are we going to be able to finish it? So the fact that we held them to no goals in the fourth quarter and continued to play well on offense for four straight quarters was, I think, more telling for us about ourselves. Like, this team is different than the years past. We have the ability to not only come out hot against any opponent, but also finish those games. So I think it really told us a lot about ourselves. And I think we all knew that we had it within us to win big games like that. But to be able to go on the road, a long road trip, a game under the lights, that was obviously exciting. And to not only win that game, but to do it in a way that I think we felt that we played complete all around was a huge confidence booster for us. And I think we now have kind of proven it to ourselves that we can go out and win big games against really anybody in the country.
Yeah, you're right. I think it was a major statement, and obviously just keeps looking better and better, obviously, every week
Yeah.
as Virginia's been doing what they've been doing. Matt, I've always wondered, and I actually called your guys' game at Loyola a couple weeks ago, and I did have this thought that I always wonder when you have two players, because Joaquin obviously as well, but of course everyone knows Mikey. Mikey might be the best player in the country, right? Like legitimately might be the most capable offensive player in the country. When a team has guys like that, is there ever a danger for everybody else that like, oh, they've got us? You know, like is there ever any moment? I know you're not thinking that way leading up to a game. I know that's not the plan, is like we don't have to do our jobs. We don't have to worry about this one. But are there ever moments where, you know, like you fall behind by a goal and you're like, oh, we don't have to, you know, Mikey and that, they've got us. So do you ever go through any of that just because of how good they are?
Absolutely. It's a blessing to have an offense like we have, especially, you know, my first year being the full-time starter. It was definitely not a shock, but an adjustment early on. And to have an offense and to have the star power that we have is great for me and the defense, I think, mentally, because like you mentioned, if we get off to a slow start, that has happened multiple times this year. I think having an offense like that allows us to trust that all we have to do is kind of lock it in from here on out, and the offense will get us back in this game. So it's obviously the defense always wants to play up to our standard, but it is amazing to have guys like that on offense that allow us to maybe have slow starts and even slow finishes sometimes. But like you said, having those guys down there just gives us so much trust and confidence that the score could be 10-0 after the first quarter. And quite frankly, I would totally believe that we would be in that game, and quite frankly, have the belief that we would win the game, because I know those guys can rattle off quite a few goals in quite a short amount of time.
The last couple of years, again, you mentioned a couple of games that you started, but for the most part, being the primary backup, oftentimes that means you're the guy that's trying to help out the most and prepare those guys, right? Like what has going up against, in particular, Mikey, because I know Joaquin was hurt a little bit, but what has that done for you and having to face that done to help maybe even prepare you more for taking over the job this season?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And I was just thinking about that earlier today because we had some really good practice reps against the first defense and the first offense. Got some really good reps in today, but going against those guys has hands down made me so much better. I think I'm so lucky to be a part of a class with some incredible guys and friends, but also, as you mentioned, I mean, these guys are incredible. Like they shoot the ball better and crazier than I had ever seen in high school.
Yeah, they also create in ways that you're like, what?
I mean, yeah, there's, you know, the 6'6" hammer from Joaquin, and then Mikey's the quickest guy I've ever seen. And then not to mention Alex Roussel, the third member of that attack, is probably the craftiest inside finisher I've ever gone against. So it's definitely trained me over the last 3 years. And even in practice today, where I can confidently say that the hardest shots I'm seeing are probably from my own teammates. So that's obviously so helpful and definitely confidence boosting when I go into the games thinking, I mean, I've been seeing some pretty crazy firepower all week. I can handle whoever we got on Saturdays.
We always joke that everybody around here is born with a lacrosse stick in their hand. I can assume as a Long Island kid, probably about the same scenario for you.
Yep, just about the same scenario. It was one of, if not the first youth sport I played, I want to say first or second grade. And a little differently than most people, I've been a goalie through and through. So
really?
I hopped in right away and I stuck with it, which I mean, maybe it's a little bit of my laziness and that I don't like to run, but I got pretty good at it. So
that's not nothing. That's not nothing. When I played a little bit, it was I only could play goal because I wasn't going to be running. That's the way that it went. Now, okay, how old were you when you started playing goalie?
Probably around 7-8 years old.
Okay, so you couldn't have known then that you were a psychopath, but you have to.
Yes.
There's no way. I have talked about this. Some of the nicest guys in the world, right? Like I mentioned Max Watkinson at Loyola, who was on with us earlier this week. Great guy. But you can't play the position without having psychopath in you. Was that nature or nurture for you? Like, were you born to be a psychopath goalie, or did you have to grow into it and have the psychopath come along?
A little bit of both. I mean, I don't remember this, but my parents tell me some funny stories of me, running into walls and apparently banging my head on the table when I was a little bit frustrated. So I think right away I was a little bit of a crazy kid. But also my older brother, who was less of a lacrosse guy, but more of a hockey guy, he was always throwing me in the driveway right in the cage. So I've kind of been a little bit of a goalie in all sports, but I definitely came out right away a little bit crazy when I was younger for sure.
It requires it, man. It absolutely requires it in order to be able to do this at this level. Matt Nilan from Towson. Obviously, we mentioned Hampton tomorrow, but like big picture, obviously you got to get back first, right? But I am sure that you guys have been thinking for a long time the next goals, the goals that come after that, right? Like the stuff that we haven't done yet that now it's time to do. What will it take for this team to not just get back, but for this to be the year to be able to break through, win in the NCAA tournament, maybe make a run towards Memorial Day weekend?
I think there's no doubt in all of our minds and in all of our supporters' minds that we have the pieces and we have what it takes to kind of break through that first round rut that we've been in the last few years. So I don't think there's any doubt within our minds as a team and through our coaching staff. I think all it takes is us having the ability to just take it one game at a time, and I think that's when we're at our best. So there's no doubt in my mind that this team has some big goals that we want to achieve this year. But I think our coaching staff's also done an incredible job preaching to us that we can't go out and play the first round game tomorrow. All we can do is practice, beat Hampton, and then move on to the next CAA game. So as much as we do want to look forward to hopefully a tournament game, we also understand and we're focused that we can only handle things one day at a time.
I can appreciate that, and I think that's the only appropriate way to go about preparing. Matt Nilan, are you anywhere on social media that local lacrosse fans can be giving you a follow?
I am at KYST_Nilan, which is NILAN on Instagram.
KYST. Is there a story there? Is there a?
Yeah, that's just an old catchphrase from our team last year that just stands for keep your stuff together.
Nice. I like that. That's not one of those. Wait a second. This isn't one of those like let a naysayer know things. It's not like that. It's actually keep your something else together. It's
no. That's what
all
it
right.
actually
All right.
Yep.
Good. Hey, Matt, congratulations on an awesome season, man. And we're looking forward to seeing what's next for you. Really appreciate you taking the time for us today, and best of luck moving forward, all right?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.